Hello everybody, and thank you for coming to another nature story time today. Our story today is about an animal that I have been seeing and hearing a lot of lately. We often see and hear them a lot in the spring and the summertime. So our story today is all about frogs, and that's Delaney's favorite animal if you didn't know that. But frogs have been around on this planet for a super duper long time, and our story today is going to be about some of the animals that they used to share the planet with many millions of years ago. And you're going to know who those animals were as soon as you see the title on the cover of this book. So without further ado, today our story is called Tadpole Rex, and it was written by Cyrus. Tadpole Rex. Whoa. Look at that tadpole. Does look like a T-Rex. Deep in the goop of a long ago swamp, a whopping big dinosaur went for a stomp. His feet are pressing into the mud. Stomp went the dinosaur. Squish went the goop. Up came the bubbles. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Swish went the horsetails, tattered and torn. Then water rushed in, and a puddle was born. One little pollywog swirled in the soup, bouncing off bubbles. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Barely a dot, scarcely a speck, a head with a tail, no legs, no neck. A mouth and a belly, and that's about all. Tadpole Rex was remarkably small. Can you see him? Boop, boop, boop. Primeval puddles were desperate places of ambush and panic and life or death chases. Look at those big predators. Stuck in a footprint with nowhere to go, surrounded by giants, Rex lay low. Mud was his camouflage, mud was his friend, but Rex wouldn't wallow in mud in the end. Here's Rex. For somewhere inside him, deep in his core, there slumbered an inner tyrannosaur, a Rex who was fearless, with fire in his blood. Splash went a hunter. Rex hit the mud. So he's got a big predator in here somewhere, but not quite yet. He's still pretty scared of those big predators. But soon Rex grew, as tadpoles do. He doubled, he tripled, he grew by 4. He ate like a hungry tyrannosaur. And then... floop! Legs, rubbery hoppers, tiny at first, they grew into whoppers. Fleep! Arms, supple and bendable. Not very strong, but still dependable. Patience and time, that's all it took. Suddenly, Rex had a whole new look. He's turning from a baby frog into an adult frog. Rex didn't hide in the goop anymore. Out came his inner tyrannosaur. Inflating his throat and lifting his head, Rex gave a roar. What do you think a frog roar sounds like? Ribbit, he said. So we can see his footprint puddle here. The dinosaur made a footprint and filled in with water, and that's where Rex lives, in his footprint puddle. Lumbering duckbills were taken aback to see an amphibian on the attack. Rex is still growing a little. We still see he has a little tiny tail left. Alamosauruses craned their necks to get a good look at Tadpole Rex. You see little tiny Rex down here? Bouncing about with the boldest of hops, Rex nearly tripped a triceratops. Stomp went the dinosaur. Squish went the goop. Ribbit went Rex. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Rex hunkered down with a gulp and a grin, his inner tyrannosaur corked within. Two blinking eyes, that's all he let show, watching the dinosaurs come and go. Gone are the dinosaurs, gone are the stompers, the rippers, the roarers, the bone-crunching chompers. Gone are the dinosaurs, swept away. But hoppers and croakers are here to stay. Tree frogs and bullfrogs and little spring peepers, sure-footed climbers and long-distance leapers, frogs of all fashions continue to huddle around any suitable freshwater puddle. And somewhere inside, deep in their core, they all have an inner tyrannosaur. What do you think that means? That's the end of the story, but there's a really great note from the author that explains what he means by an inner tyrannosaur. It says, does a tadpole really have an inner tyrannosaur? Yes, in a way. When a tadpole becomes a frog, it does more than grow limbs and lose its tail. Unseen changes take place inside as well. Gills are replaced by lungs so the frog can live on land. At the same time, its digestive system transforms. The plant-eating tadpole becomes a meat-eating frog. When Rex emerges from his puddle in the story, he is hungry for live prey, just like Tyrannosaur. Frogs really did live alongside Tyrannosaurus and Triceratops. In fact, frogs existed 100 million years before these particular dinosaurs evolved. Fossils show that some prehistoric frogs had short legs, while others had long. Some had wide heads, while others had narrow. And many, like Rex, had well-developed teeth. Frogs came in all shapes and sizes, just as they do today. After 200 million years on Earth, frogs now find their world changing rapidly. New challenges, pollution, habitat loss, climate change, are taking a severe toll. As scientists search for solutions to these problems, we can hope that hoppers and croakers will be around to enrich ecosystems for many more millions of years. The end. So that is our story about frogs. The author said in the back that nowadays frogs are having some troubles with some man-made problems like pollution and habitat loss and climate change. So a couple things that you can do if you want to help out frogs. First of all, I bet some of you really love catching frogs. We all love catching frogs. I love catching frogs too. But we have to remember that frogs can absorb things through their skin. That's how they actually drink their water. So if we go out and we put on sunscreen and bug spray and those things are all over our hands and then we pick up the frogs, they can take in those chemicals through their skin, and that's really bad for our frogs. So make sure that if you're going to catch frogs, that your hands are super clean. Otherwise, maybe think about just looking with your eyes. It can also be really stressful for frogs, right? For any animal that we catch in a net and hold on to. So that's one way we could help. Making sure we pick up our litter and we're keeping our water clean can really help. And then actually not flushing our medications, old expired medications, down the toilet can really help. So there's now medical or medicine drop-offs in certain locations, like pretty sure Walmart has one in their pharmacy. Most pharmacies will take back medication, so you could ask about that there. And some town halls or city halls might even have a medication bin drop. So when we flush medications down the toilet, it gets into our water, and our current water filtering systems don't have a great way to get that medicine out of our water. And we found that frogs can really easily absorb it through their skins. So make sure we're disposing of things properly, picking up our trash, and having clean hands if we're going to handle frogs. And those are 3 really easy things that we can do that can make a difference for frogs. So thank you for coming to another story time, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.